There is one thing we cannot change, is the past. Well, I like to tell you that when I was in the cattle car, my mom held me and she said the following: "We don't know where we're going, honey. We don't know what's going to happen. Just remember, no one can take away from you what you put in your own mind." I'll tell you the time when I felt like a complete imposter. I began to work with PTSD, and I had 2 Vietnam veterans, and one of them was blaming, cursing God, country. Conversely, the other one said to me, hey, doc, I'm sitting in a wheelchair and God gave me a second chance in life and I can see my children's eyes closer and the flowers. And that's when I began to feel like an imposter, because I wore a white coat that said Dr. Eger, Department of Psychiatry. And I realized that I could not take them further than I have gone myself. And that's when I decided to go back to Auschwitz. That was really that pivotal moment for me to recognize that I ran away from my past. I wouldn't do that today. But today I'm here at 93. I think young and I live in the present. There is one thing we cannot change, is the past. It's really about grieving, feeling, and healing. You cannot heal what you don't feel. I was just getting a phone call that someone gave birth 2 days ago and the baby died. So I'm going to hold that woman's hand and do the grief work, because if she doesn't do it now, many years later, it's worse. You know, it's good to really face the truth and not to use defense mechanism like denial or delusion or even minimization. Auschwitz was hell. It was also an opportunity to discover your inner resources. And that's what I bring you today, that power of the spirit that I was really practicing in hell, like Auschwitz. I think it's very important to acknowledge that when you're angry, you either have something what you don't want, or you want something what you don't have. And that's why very important to acknowledge whatever happened, you made it thus far. So the question is not why me, but what now? But you got to go through the rage and not to cover garlic with chocolate and not to try to minimize anything, because suffering made you stronger. It's very important to think about your thinking, because what you think, you create. So I like you to do 2 things. Think about your thinking and pay attention what you're paying attention to. Anything you pay attention to, you reinforce that behavior. Don't say yes, but say yes, and furthermore, I made it thus far. So the question is what now, not why me. I was chosen to be with you today at 93 and having 3 children, 5 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandsons. I consider that the best revenge to Hitler. I made it, and every moment is precious. I don't take anything for granted. I eat up every crumb on my plate. I never throw out food if I can help it. If you take me out to lunch, and chances are I'm gonna eat up your food if you don't, or take it home. So it was very necessary for us to really reach out to others and cooperate rather than hating, because it was important for me to be able to, from hatred to pity. And I began to feel sorry for the guards, that they were wearing the uniform and throwing people into the oven, children, even without gas. I was thinking that maybe they are the prisoners, not me, because I am innocent. And I was thinking that it was important for me, instead of hating them, to feel sorry for them, because they were brainwashed and they were told that I am cancer to society. Yes, every day I would go to you and ask you to tell me about my eyes and my hands, because my boyfriend told me I have beautiful eyes and beautiful hands. And I said to myself, if I survive today, one day at a time, then tomorrow I'm gonna be free. I never even allowed the enemy telling me that I'm never gonna get out of here alive. And I said to myself, when I get out of here, so I didn't allow them to ever murder that spirit that is with me today. I give you a couple of things my daughter calls EDism. And one of them is that the opposite of depression is expression, because what comes out of your body doesn't make you ill. So share your secret, and to be able to let go of guilt and let go of worry. Worry is in the future, and we never worry about good things happening. And with that comes two very important words: what if? What if this, what if that? And then you make come true what you fear, what you think you create. And when you say, I'm always doing that, I'm never going to be happy, then sure enough, you have a negative self-fulfilling prophecy. Watching you going through life with as much joy and passion and love, of course. Love, it conquers all. And my definition of love is the ability to let go. You cannot have intimacy unless you're willing to be vulnerable. And love is not what you feel, is what you do. And you committing yourself to do everything in your power. I never said life was easy. Look at your birth certificate. There is no guarantee, there is no certainty, there is probability. You keep on walking, you keep on moving, you're not revolving, you're evolving, just like a butterfly. So I think it's not what happens, it's what you do with it. It's how you look at it as an opportunity for an opportunity to discover the ecstasy. My parents really wanted a son after two girls. And on the top of that, I became cross-eyed when I was 3 years old. And my sisters blindfolded me when they took me for a walk, so nobody would know what an ugly sister I was. They were singing songs about me, that I'm ugly, I'm puny, I'm never gonna find a husband. And today when I go to schools, that's the first thing I ask the students, not to allow anyone to define who you are. Because God doesn't make junk that I like, that I love, because we are one of a kind, unique, put here in this earth, like being planted as a seed. So I beg people to love themselves, because self-love is self-care. It's not narcissistic. That's really important, to get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say to yourself, I love me. And I honor me too, because many people can do what you can do, but not the way you can do it. That uniqueness, that one-of-a-kindness, that authenticity, I celebrate.
I have one question that I've always wanted to ask you, but I've asked a lot of other people this question, which is, what does success look like to you?
Peace of mind, being congruent, being well connected, and being a take charge person of your thinking, feeling, and your behavior. None of the positive thinking does any good unless it's followed with a positive action.